Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I now live in a country that hasn't effectively got a leader. I just despair at how stupid people can be. They fail to see beyond the point. Now, our poor leader guy, Blondie, what other Prime Minister or leader of any country has had to go through trying to fulfill a promise of getting out of the European Union, which he did, to actually deal with a pandemic and actually get our science people going and actually get a vaccination that we can use, that works, and get a vaccination program that mobilizes everybody, gets the people into the places with their sleeves rolled up, and gets the people that need to stick the needles in organized, and is now dealing with a war against a rebellious country that just needs putting down, basically. Who else has had to put up with that? There isn't anyone that's ever had to deal with something like that, unless you go back to the Second World War, you know, and a lot of us weren't alive then. It's just beyond comprehension that they've pinned everything on him. Now, they do say, you know, the leader has to take responsibility for everything. But who were those weedy little people that were at those parties? They could have walked away, but no, they didn't. They joined in. They did the party thing. And somebody else has to carry the can for their stupidity. It's just beyond belief, this country. It really is. And quite honestly, our TV institution called the BBC have had a major hand in pulling the guy down. Because all they've done for the last couple of months is pick on people that they can pull apart on TV, make look stupid, and in doing so, bring the government down. You have to ask the people in charge what you have done. Because what you may have done, which some people will think is a marvellous thing, is that by ruining this government, with so many people walking out, and you've brought it down onto its knees from a vast majority, the biggest majority there's been for such a long time. Don't forget that. The people did that. The people decided that's what they wanted. And then weedy little people and ministers have decided to change it because they didn't like it. Now, when somebody's in charge has to go through the process of actually probably knowingly lying to try and support these weedy little people who did the wrongs in the first place, yeah? Who's in the wrong there? The guy in charge who's trying to hold it together and trying to cover up for all these silly little people that have done things wrong, started off by that twat who went up north and, I wanted to find out if I could drive if my eyes were okay when everybody was locked down. Started by somebody like that. You know, whose fault was that? You know, so somebody had to carry the can, and Blondie's had to do it. I'm now at the point where I despair at the process of our government, but I can't see a substitution. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be doing politics. I'll get clobbered for this on YouTube. That's a novelty. Why is that a novelty? Because that's normally red, and today it's white. It's coming up to tea time, and at the moment I've got a chicken roasting in the oven, which I will have some vegetables with. It's a white meat, and it's a warm day. I've decided to have some white wine straight out the fridge. So just a change. And today I haven't been too clever with the old movement, because although I got up this morning I thought, yay, my back's better, and nothing else worked. The shoulders weren't good, the legs were far from good. Getting down the stairs, holding on to both rails. Ugh. Anyway, I thought, if I move around, I'm not too bad. So what I've done today is I've watered virtually everything apart from the cooler, shadier lot. So all the pots have been watered. Derek's plants down there, they got watered. So everything got watered because I could do it by shuffling around quietly and slowly. So that's what we've been doing. But I have discovered something that is a major problem, and this is where you come in. What do you think? Now, you may not have come across these circumstances, and if you grow in the home you won't have come across these circumstances, but down here is Hurricane Hector, which we all know well. Now, in the tank that feeds Hurricane Hector, the last time I filled that up, I did it with my filter jug, which means it's half strength tap water, basically. My tap water here has got a TDS of over 300. Well, when it goes through the filter in the filter jug, it comes down to about 160, 170. There would still be an amount of calcium in that water. Yeah? Basically, that's how the tap water is around here. It's hard water, and hard water is based on calcium carbonate. It's what furs up your kettle and all that cobblers. Now, as I was watering today, it became apparent very quickly that many plants have got what appears to be mould on the leaves. And I was brushing it off with my thumb as I was going along, sometimes dipping my hand in the water I was using to water the plants with, just to sort of wash it off. And then I thought, is this mould? Or is this the residual calcium from the hydrofogger? I've got no way of proving this one way or the other. But you have to think about it. I mean, the fan's off at the moment simply because I'm filming, but as the hydrofogger puts its fog up into the air, the circulating fan wafts it around the whole of the grow room. And that water is not RO water, because I couldn't justify using RO water to that degree. Now I can, because I will change that header tank to having RO water in it. And the reason basically is, if it's mould, I may have solved the problem, because what I've done is I've taken my hydrostat down 3 or 4 points. So the hydrofogger will now come on far, far less frequently. And the other factor that may be involved if it is mould is the temperatures here compared with how they were before. And it's cooler. Overall in here, it's cooler. The night temperatures are cooler, and during the night temperatures we're up to 90–95% humidity. We've still got some airflow, the fan is on all night long, but can it get to all the corners? With these stands here, can that fan over in that corner get to those plants down there, and those plants in that corner, and these plants behind this lot? And the answer is probably no. So there are pockets in here where the airflow is not as good as perhaps it ought to be. Well, that would possibly, with the high humidity, indicate that we have some mould on the plants. But that's counteracted by the fact that the hydrofogger, when it comes on, is chucking out a mist that's not pure water anymore. What do you think? What do you actually think? It's going to be one or the other. The mould is either there because the airflow's not getting into all parts, because there's things in the way, and it starts off in one corner, well, and it oscillates, but then there was some mould on the leaves of these plants, and these are in the line of fire. They look clean now because I've wiped them off with my thumb as I was watering them. And yet the Miltonias didn't have any. Cattleyas don't have any. Some of the Dendrobiums did have. This lot up here had a lot. So what's going on? Is it the hydrofogger chucking out non-pure water and leaving a residual on the leaves? The implication is that it should be on every single leaf in this place, and it's not. So it implies it's mould, and if it's mould, it's going to be down to lack of airflow and a humidity that's too high for that temperature range. So have a think and see what you can come up with. I've got no way of proving this one way or the other, but the first easy thing to do is change the water in the header tank to RO water, back to pure water. And I'll just have to lump the cost, because that's the reason I started, you know, sort of doing it that way round, was the wastage producing the RO water is quite high. And because I'm on a meter, I'm conscious of the fact that I'm paying for my water, you know, per litre now. Although in fact, it's charged per cubic metre. That's a lot of water. Anyway, have a think about what you think, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be a bit more mobile. Now tomorrow is everything in bloom on the 8th, which is not going to get done. Well, it might get filmed tomorrow, but it probably won't get posted unless it's late in the evening, and I may save that for Saturday morning when I can't film, because I've got a package arriving tomorrow, which will be an unboxing ceremony that you will have only ever seen once before. And I'm now going to do it again. Subtle hint. See you next time. Bye for now. And the bit on the end, there's always a bit on the end. I washed the backdrop cloth in lukewarm water. I give it a soak, sort of squidged it around and everything, and hung it back up on the banister so that the weight of the water would pull the creases out. Has it made any difference? Not a light. All the creases are there exactly as they were before. So it's going to need an iron, and at the moment I don't know what to do because I don't possess one. So at the moment the backdrop's on hold. Wonderful.